Konami Studios.
Department of Truth issue number 8. I can't believe we're 8 issues into this already. It feels like it just started. And now we're 8 issues in, and I think it's going on for a long time too. I say it every time. I love this story. I love this concept. It's one of the few times in comic bookdom, I should say, I'm jealous I didn't come up with the idea, because I genuinely think it's brilliant. Martin Simmons is back, James Tynion is still writing, and it's really fun stuff. So we cut to the world of 1987. It's kind of a jump forward from our last issue, but you know what? It's still good. So we're at the Lincoln Memorial. This weird, mysterious man in an American baseball cap is standing next to our man, Lee Harvey Oswald. And basically, you know, this guy, we learn his name is Hawke. We'll learn later that his name is Hawke Harrison. He's like your happy-go-lucky, your happy days, Ron Howard kind of kid. Has a big smile on his face, just happy, full of ambition in life. And basically, he's like, you know what, man? Let it ride. If I don't have to respect anything here. I can do whatever I want, pretty much. And the two of them go on to have a conversation, and we learn right away that Hawke is kind of the guy you go to get certain ideas to disappear, which is kind of interesting to see. One of the things I noticed too about the earlier pages in this when we do the flashback is all of like the borders for the panels is filled in with like newspaper clippings. Now, two things about this. First off, I didn't read them, so if somebody like had the dedication and wanted to like read all the individual pieces like that, please let me know what they say, or if they have any hidden meaning that I'm not focused on. I'd love to know how that happened. I think maybe like Martin just kind of like put down some newspaper clippings in between them. Second thing about this, again, I said it last issue when we did like the old school UFO stuff, since I don't have the actual physical copy and I buy some of my books digital, including this one, I wonder if this has like the old newspaper grain to it, if you feel these pages, if that's how it feels. Wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but I would also be like, probably not. So the idea is that, you know, we resulted some crisis about like the AIDS epidemic when it came to stuff in New York, but now we need Hawke to do a different type of fiction. We need to create this thing with the McMartin trial. Basically, this is setting up the idea that Hawke Harrison and Lee Harvey created the identity of the star-faced man. Something that they could like implant onto Cole, and then Cole could have the memory, and Cole could create the monster, and the monster could be connected to all the stuff, and that's when we kind of get Cole to come here again. And basically, we are setting up that they made this creature that Cole is now remembering from his childhood that haunted him for years, and now it's back and it's like manifested to the real world, and it's kind of like Cole's personal like creature theory that's experimenting and expressing itself in the world. That's really twisted and weird, but I like it a lot. So it's really fun. And the rest of this book, we cut to the present day. Cole is on a helicopter and he is headed down just to meet with Ruby, and they get off a plane. They're walking through the Denver International Airport, and we'll get to more of that in a bit here. But basically, we're just kind of catching up, because the past 2 issues, of course, they were taking place in the past. We're just remembering everything we are doing with this character. We're remembering the stuff that happened in the first issue involving, like, you know, the end of the world pretty much, and the faking of the moon landing, and how that all comes back full circle, and like the flat earth stuff and all that comes into place, like the big ice wall and blocking everything off. And basically, it's just kind of Cole figuring out what's happening in this world. We kind of get more indication of what Ruby's role is. She's basically somebody who goes into these places and just stops things from happening before they spread. She's basically just like, okay, if this got out, like those 2 people we had to kill previously who got some information on like the real life that could be true or not of certain presidential figures, we had to stop before that happened. That's my job. And now here's like the fantasy we're making that's going to make the American people believe what happened to these people. We're saying one of them died this way, the other one died this way. And now that is the lie. That's the lie we built. Or is it the lie? If the world believes it, it's going to be true. So do we actually kill these people? Basically is what she's saying. And it's very fun, very confusing. If you don't like really pay attention to each individual line of dialogue in the book, sometimes things can like go over your head. And I both like and don't like that. I like it because it pays off a lot of stuff with the story that if you spend the time to focus, you can actually understand and have like a really cool, concise thing. At the same time, I'm like, there is just so much you are doing in here, Tynion, that's like, maybe take a step back and let it wash over us instead of like forcing it onto us. I don't know. I still like it though. I still really like this book. So basically, it's like we're just kind of like setting up. Does Cole have the guts to do this job, and is he going to be able to do the things that he should, and how is he going to be able to keep this job working? And then as we do that, we are in the Denver International Airport, and basically we are headed down to this location, and we get some information about that. So I think we talked about the Denver International Airport in one of like the earlier books. Basically, there's like a conspiracy theory going around about this airport that it was built with like extra tunnels and caveways and stuff, and like there's the barbed wire that's usually faced one way and it's faced a different way. And like there's like the AUAG symbols, which is like the Australian antigen and stuff, like viruses that mankind can create and do all these different stuff, and like the portraits of like genocide on the walls as like these things as a reminder for everything. Basically, it's just random crap. But if you were to like take it all apart and bring it into like one area and really examine and get down into like the roots and the bones of everything we are seeing, potentially, you know, you take like the idea of like the antigens and the viruses and the homicides and the genocides and just like all these secret facilities inside the airport itself. Potentially you could see maybe how some people in the world would believe that the Denver International Airport is the home of like giant world governments, and it's like a secret headquarters where like the new world order and like the new governments and like the most powerful people in the world come and visit. So basically, with that being the understanding, that could potentially be why Black Hat has turned it into a base of their operations. Because then it comes to that play. Oh, a world power is literally controlling the world from here, but the one who's controlling it's the one that also made the idea that it's being controlled out of there. It's like a weird full circle thing that's very weird. It's like the snake eating itself. It's creepy, but I get it a lot. I think it's a very fun thing to see. So basically, again, we're trying to figure out a way, how do we stop the world from having the flat earth thing? We have to stop like the ice wall at the end of the world, and that's going to be like our main cause of this book. We have to stop that from happening. We see a helicopter landing with a man in a hat, and we're like, okay, that's got to be our boy Hawke Harrison, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. And they're walking down the tombs of, you know, the Black Hat area, and Ruby's showing Cole this like weird tomb where they're building like the reptilian creatures, of course, like the lizard people that walk among us. And basically Ruby's like, I can't confirm anything, but I think where we are right now, like what we're looking at, this is where they manufactured the Starface man that haunts you and created your reality. And Cole kind of freaks out. He breaks one of the glasses and he's just like, I hate everything about this. It's really powerful stuff. Cole is just like a very interesting lead because he's pretty much just being like humiliated at every turn and realizing that he was bred to come here. They created him to be a part of this, to bring it all back full circle. Probably because he's going to be somebody important that has like some big conspiracy about him later. Maybe he's going to be the one that brings down Black Hat and the Department of Truth. I'm not sure, but I'm very excited to see what that's going to look like. Our man shows up and he is like the most American looking dude ever. You know, he looks like he's got like a classic vest with some flannel on. He's got his American baseball cap. This is Hawke Harrison. He's the man that's going to stop the world and get everything done that needs to be done. And we see when he walks in, he's like, "That we got it done. You know, the world is back to normal. It's going around in a circle. The ice wall is gone. Everything is hunky-dory, kids. I figured it out." And then we kind of end this story with like Cole's talking to Hawke. They kind of like leave Ruby behind. And, you know, Hawke is like, you know, I trained her. I taught her everything she knows. And she's still as cold as ice, but I can feel like the rage and fire is burning in her. And Cole's like, what are you talking about? And then we just kind of end it like, you know what, Cole? I feel like I've been waiting my whole life to meet you, and it's just great to have you here because I'm going to show you how to bend reality to your will. And you're like, what are you talking about? And Cole's like, that is so stupid. What? I don't understand any of this, and I don't think you should have any. What is going on? Cole's pretty much asking. But you know, Hawke's like, I get it, man. Like, it's great to have questions. You should never just blindly go in any of this shit because it's so over the top and dramatic and weird that if you don't ask questions, I'd be surprised. Now, I will show you how to do what I do, but I don't bend reality to my favor. I bend it to America's favor. America, the most important place in the world. We got to keep the American dream alive, and that is what we're here to do today, Cole. I'm going to show you how to do that. You can, you know, balance out the world. We can keep balance, or we can do it in your favor. Whatever you want, Cole. We're just going to do so much cool shit. It's the start of a beautiful friendship. And where it looks like we're going to set Cole up to be a guy that can fix reality in different ways, and it's going to be very cool. So they kind of set up this idea in this issue that everything that happens in America, which I understand that because, like, that's pretty much where all these conspiracies come from. Like for some reason, we haven't really dived into China or Russia or any of those like other prominent places where there's potentially other conspiracy theories to dig into. And I'm sure there's a good reason for that, but the idea that the way we bend everything and the way we do all this stuff in this reality is for the world, for the idea of America, is very fascinating. The introduction of a Hawke Harrison is a very cool character, and again, Martin Simmons' artwork, just gorgeous to look at, absolutely stunning at every turn. It's so fun. And the book ends with Hawke and Cole just walking off into the distance, just ready to get on with their lives and start seeing how they're going to change the world. And again, you get a lot more words here. The artwork is great, and then it's like all the dialogue pieces look great, and then you just got like the individual like text again, looking more like that newsprint at the bottom. If you're like, you can read some of it. If you want to read it, I'll put it up on the screen, but I think it looks very cool. A fun book. So, Department of Truth, issue number 8, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.